Passengers on board a US-bound South African Airways flight, which was aborted 15 minutes after takeoff, are accusing the airline of failing to communicate its plans to reschedule the journey. The flight was said to have been aborted Monday dawn after an incident mid-air. The traumatized passengers, including award-winning R&B artist Deborah Cox, tell Joy News they are disappointed the airline has left them to their fate. Nancy Emefa-Dradozi has more.
Canadian Grammy Award-winning R&B songstress Deborah Cox and her crew were returning to the U.S., having performed at the Ghana World Music Festival here in Accra. The flight, which was originally scheduled to take off at 11:35 p.m. on Sunday, was delayed until about 3 a.m. Monday because of an incident, only to be aborted mid-air after an announcement by the pilot. The plane's touchdown was captured on the mobile phone of one of the passengers. Deborah Cox describes the experience as traumatic.
About 15 minutes into the flight is when all the chaos started happening. We heard him say, "Smoke in the cockpit, smoke in the cockpit, emergency landing, get ready for emergency landing," and he called all the other flight attendants. We saw flight attendants running through the aisles. At that point, I was completely just shook, you know, and really, really scared. And then we had to, we landed. Very scary experience.
13 hours after the episode, she tells Joy News she's outraged as well that the airline has not been forthcoming.
And then after all of that trauma, you know, we again sat on the plane for another hour or so, and then they shuttled us here to this. No, they didn't even shuttle us. We were in the terminal for so long, trying to figure out what was going on. But my main thing is that they just did not communicate anything to us. They didn't tell us if there was going to be, you know, what was happening, what was going on, if we were going to be able to get another flight, if they were going to provide us with hotels, what hotel. Like, it was just no communication. And so we're still here. It's almost 2 o'clock, and we still don't know if the definitive, you know, they haven't been definitive about when the next flight is going to be leaving. I'm due in LA, you know, there's a lot of things going on that I have commitments that I have to take care of, and I have no answers because I'm not getting any answers from South African Airlines. It's really bad.
Kirk Balmont, a pastor who was returning to the U.S. after a 2-week visit to Ghana, was equally disappointed.
I've had no contact through email or text message about what is happening. I'm wondering about getting home, what's going to happen when I get into the United States. I don't know how the next flight's going to go. So I've been communicating to my wife. It's my son's birthday. I'm going to miss that. So I'm disappointed. I understand these things happen, but a little bit more communication would be helpful.
Another passenger, Kweku Oguswonsa, is demanding compensation from the airline.
If we didn't take it upon ourselves to communicate with them, I don't think they would have given us enough information, because we kept calling them ever since this morning. And then, I don't know, it's just been bad communication on their side, because they promised us they were going to keep up with us. So,
looking forward to any compensation?
Oh yeah, they should, because according to airline protocol, they should give us something.
The South African Airways office in Accra has declined comment, saying it is not authorized to speak to the issue.
And we have been checking the Twitter handle of South African Airways, and they're yet to post any comments there. We would update our viewers should there be any update on their Twitter handle. Now, moving on, the Ghana Immigration Service is worried about what it describes as the numerous unapproved routes into the country and how easily foreigners can cross into Ghana through its land borders. The Comptroller General, Kwame Esuah-Techi, revealed all it takes is a canoe to cross to Ghana from Ivory Coast in the Bole area, a situation he says presents a serious security risk for the country. Joy News' Martina Bugri joined the Comptroller General on an inspection of the approved and unapproved routes into the country and filed the following report.
The Ghana Immigration Service inspected the Saru, Sola Kabla, Tangiliri, Saru, Vuvu, and Kalba unapproved route in the Savannah region. The Bole-Kash border is one of the approved borders in the area. It shares a boundary with Vonkoro in Ivory Coast. A river separates the Ghana side from the Ivorian side. The Controller General, Kwame Esuatechi, called for collaboration between the government of Ghana and the Ivorian government to construct a bridge over the river, separating the two countries to ensure commuters easily use that route. He raised concern about the numerous porous borders in the country.
The river, there's a need to construct a bridge across Ghana and La Côte d'Ivoire so that there will be a lot of trade, movement of vehicles, passengers. But you find out that, like my officers have just told me, you find out that there are a lot of unapproved routes. Some will come to Ghana by canoe, little boats, which for security reasons is very serious. Anybody who want to cause trouble or any criminal activities can take the boat, just sail across. So there's a need for us to strategize and find a way out. And that's the more reason why I'm here, to see things for myself, go and bring my superior authorities, my superior bosses, and write a report to the appropriate authority.
He also expresses worry about the working conditions of officers at some of the borders. Mr. Techi described the state under which these officers live as traumatizing.
The situation is bad. I mean, one is emotionally traumatized. And I can see that officers, especially the ladies, their faces have changed. And it is a wake-up call, like I said, to all of us immigration officers. Because when we sit in Accra, and especially me, the Controller General, a list of things are brought, and I try to cut them. Officers do understand. But those of us who have come here from Accra, now they will understand why Controller General Kwame Esuatechi is very strict in the management of money. We can channel some of the monies that we sit in our office, we demand A, B, C, and bring them here.
He assured the officers that the service will immediately ensure that the logistics and accommodation situation are addressed.
We've all seen the conditions, very horrible, not fit for human beings. And that is one of the reasons why I'm here, to see things for myself. So I'll send a report to my minister, then to government. And I know my minister is hardworking, like all the ministers. Definitely an action will be taken to remedy the situation. I know it's scattered around the country. I mean, immigration has been in existence for quite a long time. This year we are 30 years since immigration came into being, then under Minister of Interior as a department. So it's a gradual process, and I know we're going together and resolve some of these problems with accommodation.
Now, the report you just saw is part of a series on porous borders, and we're bringing you a lot more on the state of our borders, our land borders. Do stay tuned in. Now, the police have announced that DNA test results on human remains discovered in the septic tank at Kansarodo in Takoradi in the Western region last Friday will be available within the next 4 weeks. The police put it up on its Twitter handle, and it indicates that the police administration is assuring of covering all other angles of the investigation, while it expects to conclude DNA tests within the next 4 weeks. It goes on in another tweet to say that on Saturday, August 3, 2019, police held discussions with the families of the 3 missing ladies to assist with DNA samples as part of the investigation. And it goes on to say that the families are cooperating with the police. Now, it also adds that police made the discovery as a result of ongoing efforts at examining several angles of the investigation, and says claims that a confession or tip-off led to the discovery are untrue. So this was a tweet posted by the police on the police Twitter handle about 6 hours ago. But there's a new development in the story which we're about to share with you. And the families of the 3 girls who went missing in Takoradi in the Western region last year are demanding independent forensic analysis of human remains retrieved by the police at Kansarodo last Friday. A team of experts from the police CID retrieved the remains from a septic tank in the rented home of the main kidnapping suspect, Samuel Udotek Willis, who actually accompanied the police to the location. According to the police, DNA from the bones will be compared to samples from families of the girls to establish if the remains are those of the victims. The father of one of the missing girls, Priscilla Mantibia Kranche, is saying his family will not cooperate with the police. Alexander Kranche tells my colleague Kojo Yangsing they have doubts about the veracity of the outcome of the test to be conducted by the police.
There's been a development. I'm here again with the father of the final of the 3 victims to be taken, Priscilla Mantibia Kranche. Mr. Kranche spoke to us yesterday, but something significant has happened. Let's learn from him. Mr. Kranche, thank you for speaking to us. Now, yesterday, you told me that you were going to go along with what the police have asked, but that has changed, hasn't it?
Yes, it is. Why that has changed is that after pondering over the whole issue, I've come to realize that I don't believe in whatever has happened, that my daughter is dead, and that the skeleton bones found in that manhole or a cesspit can be that of my daughter. One, the reason being no less a person than the Interior Minister, the Gender Minister, Mr. Brian Achampong. I don't know his status.
Minister of State in charge of security, national security.
Yes. And then Madam Tiwa, they all have confirmed to us that the girls are alive and they are in safe hands, that they are doing all that they could to go and retrieve them. So for them to turn around just some few moments to come and tell us that they have found some coughs, some bones in a certain manhole, we don't believe it. When the girls die, did the suspect kill them before he was captured and sent to jail? And if it happened before he was arrested, how come they were able to tell the nation that the girls are alive? So I don't believe whatever is going on. So I cannot avail myself to that DNA test they are going to do. This is my decision.
So, from what you're saying, Samuel Wills was arrested on the 22nd of December. Your daughter disappeared the day before, the 21st. So you're saying that you don't believe he had enough time to kill your daughter before he was arrested?
Yes, I don't believe, because even 31st, when he broke jail, he managed to call me and told me that they don't kill kidnap victims. All that they need is money. So he confirmed to, not I alone, about 3 of us, that including my 2 children, 2 young boys, that the girl is alive, and that for security reasons he cannot allow us to talk to her that time. You see, and from that time onwards, we've been hearing that the girls are alive, the girls are alive. So all this while, were they deceiving us? And if they were deceiving us, how true is this test going to be? You see, I don't have confidence in that test. That is why I say I won't avail myself, because from onset, the police and the BNI or security agencies, including ministers, they have been deceiving us. So if even this test is conducted, I don't believe they will tell us the truth.
But we all know that Samuel Wills has lied to the police on several occasions and sent them in different directions where they found nothing. In spite of that, you seem to believe what he told you on the phone when he broke jail. How come?
I cannot believe him, neither can I believe the police. Because the police, they say the girls are alive. You see, emphatically, that they are alive and that they are safe. So if even the suspect is trying to deceive us to believe that the girls are alive and that he has not killed them, what of the security agencies and the ministers? Should I not believe them also? So if they are now telling me that they have found some bones somewhere, does it mean the boy told them that now he has told them that he killed the girls before he was captured? You see, they didn't tell us that the boy told them he killed the girls, and that is why they followed him to the police. They said during their investigation, it occurred to them that they should come to the house to do a search there. And it was during the search, it occurred to them to open the manhole and find and look inside. All this while, they haven't told us that the boy told them he killed the girls before he was arrested. It is from their own, they said that they came there, you see. So the whole thing, I just don't believe what is happening. And I don't want to bother myself. Let sleeping dog lies. You see, I've had enough. I've had enough. So if they will go on looking for the girls, fine, they should go on. But if they want to put a stop to it, they should find a proper means to tell us that they have done a lot and they cannot locate them, so they are putting a stop to it. Nobody is forcing them to bring the girls at all costs. But they shouldn't do something as if something has happened, so that based on that they will tell us that yes, we found the bones and that the girls have been killed, so nothing should go on again.
Our security analyst Adam Bona, however, says the family should allow the police to handle the matter. He spoke to us earlier on News Desk.
The police must be allowed to what is suspected of, a criminal investigation such as this. I'm not sure, even in the U.S., these things happen, in Britain, these things happen all over the world. It happens. And so, I tend to, share in the pain of the family, but that notwithstanding, if we say the police shouldn't do it, international, that would not be the right way to go. So I think they would have to tone down and allow the police to do what is needful. If the police do what is expected and they think that they don't accept it, these things are allowed. They would be, they can go ahead and get other forensic, laboratories to run checks to see whether it is true, the findings are true or the findings are not true. I think the states, all of us will require them to allow the police to take samples from them so that we can bring closure to this. If it is not the young girls, we know. If it is the young girls, we know. So we know where we are as a country when it comes to this 3 girls who are missing. But let's remember that the subsequent to subsequent to this particular one, all other kidnapping or missing persons case have been resolved. And so this particular one, this painful one, probably took all of us as a country off guard.
Our convener for the Concerned Mothers Association, Josephine Amu, says they are skeptical about the revelations made by the police.
All along, we were thinking that since the police are doing the investigation, we will get a positive result out of the investigation. So when 2 days ago we heard that they have discovered some body parts here, and they are assuming that it is the missing girls. In fact, I felt very, very bad, very, very, very bad.
Now, the police have met with the family members, and they have told the family members to be patient because until they do the DNA test, we don't know who those bodies belong to. Does that make you feel any better?
Oh, I don't feel better still, because even yesterday I was with one of the family members when the regional commander and his troop of policemen, about 40 of them, came to the father, and they came just to officially mention to the family the operation that they have done. According to the regional commander, he said the IGP sent them to the families to officially tell them what they have done so far. But looking at what is going on, for me and for we, the concerned mothers, we think, maybe I don't even know what to say. We think the police has not been able to do the best. They have not done professional work, because why I'm saying that is that this issue started, I think, a year ago. August is 1 year when the first girl got missing. And they have been doing a search, they have been searching, they have been going around searching, investigating. And they keep on telling us that they are still doing something about it. You heard what Mami Tiwa, the CID boss, said, that they know where the girls are. Also, that is why I personally doubt what they have seen here. She said they know where the missing girls are, and very soon they will just relocate them for them to reunite with their families. She came again to say that what she said that just to give hope to their families. And to give hope, in fact, what she said even rather dashed the little hope the families had. You see, and it has worsened the pain that the families are feeling. So you come down, you come to tell us that now you have found some bodies, and you think that they have to do some forensic laboratory before they can even say whether it is the missing girls or what. In fact, for me, I doubt it. The political leaders have not done well at all. The regional minister, the MP for the area, they haven't done well at all, because, in fact, you were thinking that when the president comes, you go and visit the families. So we, the concerned members, even decided that if you hear something, maybe you can also organize ourselves and go and even stand behind the families. But the president came and he didn't even visit them. And even Takrade, some were even expecting that maybe he will speak at the metropolis, because this is where the issue happened. He went to ask him before mentioning, saying that they are doing everything possible to get the girl. So everybody was talking. That why didn't the president even say this in Takrade, but rather in Axim, where the issue happened here? Why do you go to Axim and say this? And so, in fact, the political leaders, everybody, the political leaders, the men of God, in fact, the politicians, they are not doing well at all. They should all talk. You see, there are some issues which does not matter. You hear some of the men of God, they will come out and talk. There are some issues which does not matter. You hear politicians, they will come out and talk. This is an issue that everybody should open his mouth and talk.
The Ghana Trade Union Congress is calling on government to strengthen labor laws that offer protection to workers. General Secretary Dr. Anthony Yaba at a news conference lamented the continuous lowering of decent work standards across Africa and its effect on the country. He says it is about time issues of joblessness and the nature of economic policy in areas of microeconomics and trade are critically looked at. Efwa Evans Chenry has more.
The Trade Union Congress Ghana hosted the fourth conference from August 2 to Monday, August 4, 2019. It brought together delegates from the TUC, Nigeria Labour Congress, and the Congress of South African Trade. The conference sought to address the various challenges faced by workers on the labour front across Africa. TUC General Secretary Dr. Anthony Yaba accused successive governments of failing to enforce the basic laws that offer protection to workers, adding the labour market institutions institutions that are mandated to enforce labor laws have suffered systematic reductions in budgetary allocations.
Workers continue to face abuses of their basic human rights. In their haste to attract elusive investments, African governments are being coerced to reform labor laws in a manner that remove legal protection for workers. Governments are failing to enforce the basic laws that offer protection to workers. The labor market institutions that are mandated to enforce labor laws have suffered systematic reductions in budgetary allocations. This has emboldened some employers, including employers both local and foreign, to abuse the right of African workers with impunity. This situation must stop.
Some of the issues raised were ending violence and harassment in the world of work, including gender-based discrimination, the low coverage of social protection, and the challenge of rising joblessness. The federations, according to Dr. Yao Ban, will work with other progressive partners to develop an alternative economic framework that delivers jobs and serves the needs of Africans.
The conference also deliberated extensively on the acute shortage of decent employment on the continent. The challenge of rising joblessness is disproportionately affecting young people, driving them into all manner of antisocial situations. The lack of decent employment has turned the employment market in Africa into employers' market, where employers dictate what they want, and allowing them, particularly foreign investors, to abuse the right of workers. Job seekers are compelled to sign away their rights in a tight employment market. Joblessness in the midst of economic growth, the conference observed, is the result of an economic policy framework being implemented on the continent and which has failed the majority while enormously privileging the Africa's comparador and their external benefactors.
The discussions also addressed the issue of government's involvement in the investment of retirement funds and resolved to work with the mandated national agencies, including pension regulators.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Kweku Asoma-Treme has ordered the shutdown of the Ghana Manganese Company Limited until further notice. The closure, which takes effect from Tuesday, August 6, according to the minister, follows the company's failure to fulfill its financial obligations, which has resulted in loss of revenue to the state, estimated at over $300 million. The Ghana Manganese Company Limited in January this year was directed to halt its mining operations to enable the state undertake a thorough financial audit of its operations. The minister, at a news conference in Accra, stated, beside the findings of the audit report, there is also evidence of lack of compliance and circumvention of some regulations governing its operations.
Additional royalty taxes due $12.8 million. Additional corporate taxes due $79 million. Loss of dividends declared $6.1 million. Additional revenue residing offshore for period 2010 to 2017. No transfer pricing audit performed prior to 2017. $259 million. The audit has also noted major infrastructural deficiencies as a result of GMCL operations. Primarily, road and rail infrastructures are stretched beyond capacity and are close to complete failure. These and several other infractions leave me no option as the sector minister than to close down the operations of GMCL until further notice. The company is therefore instructed to stop all mining, exploration, and export of minerals effective 6 August 2019. That is from tomorrow. The ministry, together with the Minerals Commission and other relevant stakeholders, will immediately commence discussions with Ghana Manganese to resolve these and all other outstanding issues in the course of the shutdown.
He also hinted there are likely to be prosecutions of persons found culpable.
We are going to engage them to judge so that at the end of the day we'll find an amicable solution to the infractions that they have committed. If indeed they have no good explanation to give us, then the laws will allow us to arraign them before court. That is one option. And then two, to take over the company from them outright. And if there are other assets where we think we can fall on such assets to defray this huge debt, then we use that one to settle the indebtedness.
The people of Kunda Junction are perhaps the most excited people in the OT region today. That's because they joined 19 other communities that have been declared open defecation free in the Karachi East municipality. Municipal Chief Executive for the area, Patrick Chati Himela, says the status achieved by this community has brought them closer to achieving their target of being an open defecation free municipality. But here's what doubled the joy of residents at Kunda Junction. And at an event to celebrate their ODF status, World Vision Ghana commissioned a borehole to end decades of drinking from the disease-infested river there. And as many visited the community, and our reports.
Access to potable water remains a big challenge for many communities in Ghana. The effect of this is often manifest in their unhygienic practices. In most of these communities, open defecation is rife, taking a toll on the health of the people. One of such is Kunda Junction in the Karachi East municipality. Joseph Ta is the district environmental health officer.
The situation was very terrible. Indiscriminate defecating inside the bushes, within the community, and this in fact brought about a whole lot of diseases. We can mention cholera, diarrhea itself, we can mention typhoid fever, dysentery, poliomyelitis, which were predominant in this community.
But the people say the lack of potable water, or sometimes the absence of it, especially in the dry season, is a major contributory factor. The only source of water is the polluted Prague River. Some of the residents shared with me the difficulties they've had to face drinking, washing, and doing everything else with this river water.
When poor small tin, a do over betanasa, when ya adibesa, and I just see sans also have a foul pan empty, sir, up with you. Into when you are named to you, a do almost over banana for son. I will be sending see soon you want to be fat. That one to over banana or apamo now with the America.
During Hamatan season, you will go to the riverside, you yourself will dig some holes before you get water from it. And then maybe night time you move from here to the riverside, we experience 3 snake bites because of the distance from house to the riverside.
So no cosa na munye na ibi oba ko sa na nso no yakokoko na so ni fe oba yada oba sa ne sa na odi abefe oba no na ya nyane adechi a we se wa yare akwada se wa yare odi no ba kwada kota nyina ya obrema ya.
It then led me to the only source of water for the community, the Prague River, which sometimes run dry. This is the Prague River that serves the over 300 people here at Kunda Junction, the community where I am now. This is the river where children, women, and everybody else drinks from, and this is the main source of water for the people. Just take a critical look, and it goes without saying that it comes with implications, obviously, for their health. But through the WASH program of NGO World Vision Ghana, the town has now been declared open defecation free.
And open defecation free means that every household should be having a household toilet. And within the community and the bushes, there should not be any trace of feces on the background in the open space. And every household toilet should have a hand washing facility.
To ensure the situation is addressed permanently, World Vision on this occasion, to celebrate the open defecation-free status, commissioned a mechanized borehole and donated it to the community. Karachi Cluster Manager for World Vision Ghana, Edward Ola, urged the community to take good care of the facility.
Community for say, borehole we near World Vision there, and that MCE wabia no pe enye World Vision die eye Kunda Junction for mu die mu na ese mu hwe so yie se ne mu nya mu benya hu ifa so
enti mo modern se mo be so mu borehole no mu yie enti ne me de borehole no ehye mo nsam wo oja oba ne susun kronkron di munti
The people are excited.
Come near us. Anytime we want to fetch water, we can get it easy to drink. And then I think the most important thing is it will also prevent us from some waterborne diseases.
Se said the mama ya papa we de say e de ya we biara. Today,
the story is different. Thanks to the intervention of World Vision Ghana, the people of Kunda can at any time walk from their homes to this mechanized borehole to get clean, potable drinking water. All they have to do is to just pump. And as they pump away all their troubles with water. From river blindness to bilharzia. Ernest Minu for Joy News.